Dummy Switch Pod. The boys are back.
Yes,
How are you,
sir.
Chris?
Yes, sir. Quarters. Look, I'm a little less disgruntled this week, you know. So yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good, man. How you?
My illustrious co-host, feeling better this week. I'm good myself. The Dan Carter's of podcasting. We're here to give you our flagrant takes and our opinions. Church
Mhm.
announcements. You can find us here, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, leave your comments. Fight with us in the comment
Yeah.
section as you always do. Um, yeah, news of the day, box squad announcement.
hmm
Okay, there was other news of the day regarding Kolisi, another announcement, but this is a rugby
It's not about
podcast. It's
rugby.
not, yeah, that's love and rugby. So we'll get straight into box squad announcements.
Yeah, man.
Um, Kind of a bit anticlimactic in a way that we always love to see guys get new caps and
Yeah.
guys come through, and it's just a situation where there's no uncapped players there. Um, I'll just run through the team: Ox, Steenekamp, Dutoy, Koch, Malherbe, Vessels, still on fraud
Right.
watch. Got Marks, Simbonambi, Etzebeth, Mostard's back, Nokia retained, RG back. He's been playing some good URC rugby. Dutoy, our captain. Then you've got Low, Kwacha, Van Staden, and Jasper Visser. In the backs, Hendrikse, Reinach, Williams, Lubbock, Pollard, Dialendi, Esther Hazen also back. Jesse Creel, Curtly Arendse, Fasi, Colby, LaRue, Mapimpi, Moody, Willems are also back.
Yeah.
Yeah, if just taking a look at it, we've also got injured players. Sasha listed as injured, Murat listed as injured, Diacha, Kitsov also injured. Like I said, Esther Hazen, RG, Willemse, and Mostert back. No mention of
Yeah.
Faf de Klerk. He's not in the
Mm.
squad. He hasn't been listed as injured. And like I said, no uncapped players. How do you feel about the
Yeah.
squad?
Look, I think this smells more like okay, these are the guys who they think that are the better players for the most part of the squad. Let me
Yeah.
say that, for the most part of it. Um, yes, injuries aside, uh, look, and it also just seems like the mission is it's 3 out of 3, you know, on this tour, and nothing, nothing less than that is going to be acceptable, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, these sort of question marks, like Jan-Hendrik Vessels, it's like, okay, and then obviously guys that are coming back that we haven't seen much of. I know I haven't, kept track of guy like, for example, Franco Mostert. So it'd be interesting to see
Yeah,
how the
I don't need,
dynamic,
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even think he's played. I'm not too,
you
like,
know,
don't quote me, but I actually don't think he's played. I'm not sure.
yeah, and then pretty much like if you, yeah, they're in the forwards, and then pretty much in the backs. It's all the guys that have been there, done that.
Mm.
Yeah, you feel for the people that, the guys that, didn't get the opportunity. But the doctor of rugby said to us, it's my, he's the decision maker, it's my job. It's not our job,
Yeah.
So they clearly have a plan, and
But
they did
how
give
do you
us.
feel about that? Because personally for me, I understand it's
Mm,
boring. It's boring, but I understand it. And I can see
yeah,
that they're trying to I think that what they're trying to do is complete a calendar year dominant throughout, which is the thing that
yeah,
you always complain that we want that thing.
we
Now we're
want
getting
that.
into complaining about something else. But for
Yeah.
me personally, I would have liked to see Hanukom there, and I feel like he was kind of the only guy really knocking
Yeah.
on that door the hardest. I feel like with him, he is that level above when you're watching the URC,
Yeah.
and I feel like he's a bit hard done by, and I feel like he could have been, there's always that thing of who are you gonna drop, or he's got
Mm,
to take someone's place, but we've seen special circumstances for special players, and we've seen guys there that shouldn't necessarily
Yeah,
be there
yeah.
or at certain times. And I think that Hanekom for me is one of those players where they could have made an exception for him.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, definitely, he'll, especially him, he'll feel hard done by it. And you could almost, when you're looking at that pack, could say because of Franco Mostert, for example, we haven't seen much of him, but we've seen more of Hanukom. It would have been maybe a better decision to have Hanukom in there. At least let the guy go there, get experience the environment, let him hold the
That's my
bags,
thing. That's my thing because they did that
because
with
you
Vessels
know,
before. And my
yeah,
thing is, obviously, everyone is going to say, well, Mostert and him don't play the same position. A lot of people were saying drop Van Staden. Van Staden doesn't play the same position. I
doesn't play
would
the same
even say
position.
take two hookers and leave Vessels, even if they don't play the same position.
Yeah, because at the same time, if you're looking at it, they don't play the same position, Vessels and Hamakum, but if you're looking at just on action,
Yeah,
you'd say, look, and if it was a choice between the two, and there is something on the line, definitely, but let's say it's a mini tournament or whatever, and you have to pick
yeah.
between the two, you'll go Hanukkah because he's gonna do something for you, um, but like like I said, doctor's orders. Doctor knows best, so yeah, but fair point there, Quarters. Fair point because perhaps in the next cycle we're going to see maybe they phasing that in, to
Yeah.
say to changing it to say maybe the middle period of the year is when they're looking to
Yeah,
blood the guys
it
in
looks
the
like
you
that.
know
It looks like that, but
yeah
for me it's kind of sucks because it's like
yeah
you're only up for promotion once a year. You're only up for promotion once a year. So
Yeah, but
you have
it's
to wait
hard to
for
get
next year.
in. It's hard to get in.
Yeah,
That's what we
yeah,
want,
but
though, right?
let's also remember a guy like
But
Hanukom, he's also
also,
got
there's guys that are
options.
just in though at the same time because it's
Yeah,
like it's
some
hard to
guys they
get
just
in, but
get
it's also
in.
not hard to get in. You know, you
I don't
understand?
know.
So, ah,
It's
man,
it's like the club when you're waiting outside and they're letting other people in, but they're not letting you in. It's just so
and look, it's the Springbok saga, man. It's the Springbok saga, and look, I'll just go back and say, I guess they have a plan, that they want to see
yeah.
through. We may not understand it now, but yeah, it does suck for real. It does because we were there's hopefuls that we were hoping that okay, they missed out in the
Yeah.
in the June window, maybe they'll get end of year opportunity, but yeah,
Like I was saying,
they
Hanukom
backing.
he's got options. We must always remember that. He's got options. Wales can give him
Yeah,
that call up, but
to
I
test,
doubt it'll
bro.
happen. But if it was me, I won't
Yeah,
lie. I'd be considering it this evening if I was him. But
yeah, but for the most part, it's a solid team,
yeah,
for the most
yeah,
part.
yeah, solid team going up against Scotland, England, and then Wales. So I'm expecting a clean sweep, but
It has to be.
yeah.
Nothing less than that is acceptable, clean sweep. If you're gonna give us 2-1 or no, no such.
Yeah, it was almost a clean sweep for the South African teams in URC, but the Bulls,
We
the
got
Bulls were
done.
the ones.
We got done. The Bulls got done, man. I'm gonna say that.
I mean, I feel two ways about it. Yes, the
Yeah.
refereeing wasn't great throughout the whole game, but at the same time, I don't feel like they executed, especially in the second
Yeah.
half, on the level that they would have wanted. I mean, yes, the red card and all that kind of stuff,
Mm,
but
mm,
even themselves, there's
yeah.
I'm watching the game and I'm just thinking there's not enough influential players on the field. You've got
Yeah.
in the first half, especially Moody was, you can see this guy. You can see how influential he is on the play and scoring the try and
Mm,
doing all those things. Hanokom, you can see him doing all these things. But it's just like it's those two. And then it's
yeah.
it's it's like certain guys chipping in here and there, but
Moments.
and
Yeah.
I mean I guess this is what happens with rotations, and that's what we said in the first place is that this team is only going to go as far as that that strong lineup. When they have
Yeah.
that team, it's going to go as far as those guys because when some of these guys come in, it's not working. Vessels came in at
Yeah.
loose head. he gave away a few free kicks, penalties. They mixed the loose forwards around a bit. Immelman at fullback. I'm thoroughly unimpressed by him. It
And you say
it's
that you
it
called it last week. We called it last week.
Yeah, no, that guy is useless. But it's I guess it is what it is. First half they were cruising nicely though. It just it
Yeah.
to be honest, I don't know what happened. They just slowly
Mm.
faded away in the second half.
They faded away, and also just that they started dropping in their accuracy, and that's where, guys, for example, that have had that exposure to, Springbok rugby, you'd expect that, they can sharpen up. But if you look at Hobla, I think it was that line out turnover that led to even that red card of you, if I'm not mistaken, and
Yeah,
when
yeah,
that was in their own 22, that set piece disintegrated, started,
yeah.
going awry, and especially line out where they were more secure, and that's where, they're strong there. Once if the Bulls get set piece, like you say, first off they were cruising, and then they started losing their way, more pressure, and yeah, they only have themselves to blame, yes, for being in that position. I think at the end of the day, like you said, there's those guys, that strongest team, and then there's the next guys, and there's a big gap, and that's
Mm,
currently what's the problem, I think, perhaps with many of the franchises, maybe excepting, let's say, the Lions, you could say,
yeah.
where when there's different guys playing in this, you can definitely see that there's something missing, and we saw that, you know, and it's the rotation, like you said, but how long will they be able to survive?
Yeah, that set piece was not make sure. It wasn't
Mm,
Crobby's missed a few lineouts. I think for him as well, since he's come back from injury, he hasn't been at that level because he was consistent for what, two seasons where he was knocking on the door and everyone says he should be a Springbok. He should be
mm,
there for Dweba, so on and so forth. And since he's come back, he hasn't really looked quite like that player.
yeah.
But I guess
He hasn't
we'll
slotted in,
see.
Whereas, for example, look at some of the quality guys like Marks is an example, Mbonambi, when, they go away. Yes, maybe they may not be at the levels that they know, but just them slotting in, they're giving you more than just good enough, So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's an area where him personally you'd want to work on.
Yeah, I think this Bulls team, you can only predict it once you see the lineup. Then
Yeah,
I think they're going against Benetton this weekend. Obviously, they want to bounce back, but you saw what Benetton did to the Sharks. So
yeah, yeah.
if they have to make sure the mix is right, that's all I'm saying. They have to make sure the mix is right.
Yeah, and that breakdown is going to be crucial. If you're going to give Benetton ball, fast ball, and allow them to play, but maybe that may even suit the Bulls, because they have that ability as well. It's going to be a question, like you say, if they get the mix right.
Yeah, moving on to Zebra versus the Lions. Nohamba starts, Low starts, Van Veek starts. Good example of rotations and how they kept the
Mm,
guys that were on form from Curry Cup. And then when they saw this one, because I saw Jacques Fourie said it was going to rain, so I'm sure they had prepared for this kind of a game, and they
yeah,
knew that okay, no, now we need to bring out the big guns, we need to bring out
yeah,
the experienced guys, tough conditions. It kind of killed the way the Lions play. It killed
mm,
their kind of the advantages they would have in terms of throwing the ball around, the
yeah.
expansiveness, and they still tried. They tried to
They
throw
did.
it around, but it's almost like you're running in quicksand, and
Mm.
in the end, it just turns into a dogfight. It turns into the trenches.
Yeah, and look, a tough game, tough conditions, and I think at the end there, with the Lions being able to execute, and score the try, I'll
Hmm.
take it there in those conditions, and then consolidate their position and hang in there defensively. I think I showed, what sort of a team they are, away from home. Yes, it's Zebra on a different day. I think the results it would. probably be different, not different for the Lions in terms of a win, but the
Yeah.
in terms of the gameplay, more suited to the Lions. But they had to adapt and show a different way, patience in terms of defensively, and yeah, I think there's a lot of things that they'll look at and say and take positives going into a tough one against Leinster,
Top
coming
of the
up.
table
But
clash.
this is it's going to be a big one, and I think they'll take a lot from it, from the fact that they were able to really just hang in there. I mean, even Nohamba wasn't shirking his defensive responsibilities at all, and
Yeah.
I think just in this game we've seen it before, but more so for me in this game, it diffused that whole thing of maybe the physicality and defensively maybe a
Yeah.
liability, because remember there was a time where they were hiding him,
Mm.
off the set piece. Now he's up there, making his first up tackles. So there's positives for them, and all around I think they adapted well, particularly defensively, and just that ability to strike when they did, Although
Yeah.
they had other opportunities, I think they'll also be disappointed in the fact that they could have done a bit better, but look, you take it. You
Yeah,
take it.
I think they managed it as well as they could have, and I also think that if Zebra scored, they were gonna score again.
Yeah,
They look like that kind of a team where it's like
they looked more in control a little bit, eh?
we just keeping this lead. Horn, I think he had a good kicking game. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
much like Fassi, those both of them, I like the kicking game from 15. And yeah,
Mm.
we move on to next week. The only two unbeaten teams facing off against each other, and
Yeah.
we'll see who lands up on top. I'm gonna be unbearable if we win against Leinster. Just prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. I'm gonna be
No, and
podcast gonna
look,
be 30
deservedly
minutes
so.
of me being unbearable. So prepare yourselves.
Yeah, man. But look, who's to say, who's to say that they can't do it? They may have a plan, they
Yeah.
may have some tricks, you know, the look, but yeah, man, they just got the job done. They needed to get the win, they got the win. From here on out, it's two tough ones to finish it off. So,
Yeah.
they can throw all in, going forward.
Yeah, let's move on to Sharks. Sharks at home. Box back, facing the
Yeah, I
defending
know.
champions. It was almost 12 box in the starting lineup. It's almost
Stacked,
a
eh?
do or die kind of thing. It was one of
Stacked,
those things where they had to. They had to.
stacked. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that result, you could see the difference. That okay, I know the Boks are back, but
Yeah.
that result is purely because I think the sheer presence of those guys,
Yeah.
they just that different level for me. Isn't it's I'm still not convinced. In terms of the whole synergy in there.
Yeah.
I'm still not convinced. But look, the guys, the box showed why they box for me. You
Yeah,
know.
Glasgow Warriors, you can come with your team ethos, you can come with your defending champions, you can come with no on counter, we move the ball wide, we do this, we got,
Yeah,
they got the coaching, it's embedded in us, it's our structures, this is the way we play, but you're playing 12 box. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. All of that doesn't matter. It doesn't
yeah,
matter when you're playing 12 box because these guys showed up physically and they
yeah.
hurt them. They hurt them. There was, and it had to be Kolisi obviously scoring on his return. And where did that come from? It came from a maul. And even before
Mm,
that, what was it? It was the forwards taking it up. And it's
yeah,
they the way that they were charging at them, it's a bit charging. He's got Mbonambi here, Ox here,
yeah.
go.
Ox.
Next time it's Ox taking it up. Then it's Kolisi taking it
Mm,
up. It's just they were the physicality was on another level where it's like
yeah,
it's too difficult to deal with.
yeah. And at the same time, when changes were being made, you started to see, little the differences, that okay, there's an issue, because it's not the same standard, and
Yeah.
these guys are going to go away. They're going away. So
The problems
if
will return.
yeah, and that's why I'm saying that. Look, man, less disgruntled because yes, it was a win. We expected it because we knew the box wouldn't
Yeah.
come back, but the way that they allowed them to score the third try. then the fourth try, you know. Yeah, that is a giveaway. And I think there's issues there that you can't have all the ingredients, but you still have those sort of problems. It's yeah, I'm not convinced, Cordis. Good win, got the win, but I'm still not convinced, man. Call
Another
me a
week of
pessimist.
coaching is question marks on the coaching. But for me,
Yeah,
I
I still
mean,
have them.
yeah, it's yeah, it because it just looks like the box got him over the line. If you're talking
Mm,
performances, Fassi was good. That quick tap, thinking on
good.
his feet, you can see
Yeah.
he wanted to be there. He was hungry to
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
Other performance I want to highlight Hendrickse. I don't think Hendrickse was as bad as the general public want to make
Nah.
it seem like he played. I think he had an okay game. I don't think he was
He,
terrible.
look, he
I
was
mean,
all
at the
right.
end of the day, he got the job done.
Yeah. I think he was all right. He looked more confident taking the ball to the line, the better decision making. More. It's better than uh, what Masuku has been in the past few weeks in terms of just you can see the confidence level. For me, that's
Yeah.
what it just looks like. But he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. Got the backline away, that counter with Fassi. It's just the way that the backs are running off each other. There you could see that. I mean, like we said, you can see that. Okay, the box. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
With
There's some
him,
good guys that are in the box setup that showed why they're there. You know.
yeah, with him, I feel like he's been moved around a bit. This is kind of the first time he's played 10 since the box. Even
Mm.
before that, the last time he played 10 was the Lions tour last year,
Last
you
year.
know.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to step into that 10 role having played 12, having played 15. So like I'm not really expecting a player to just get there and just play,
Yeah.
it's you have to
Yeah.
give the guy some kind of grace, but I guess we'll see what will happen and what will unfold throughout the season between him and Masuku. Masuku, I don't think, again, it's still early. Can't write off players. I think it's still,
Yeah.
like I said, he's still in preseason mode. He'll get back to. I mean, it's like Nohamba. Nohamba only started his first game now, and what are we on week 3, 4?
Cool. Oh, yeah, yeah. Look, I'm not discarding Masugu. No, still with him, still rocking with him. He just needs to get his confidence back up and get back to that headspace where
Yeah,
he's able to do the things that he was doing. Because he's also somewhat of a good playmaker, magician himself. So yeah, man. I think the Hendricks are playing at 10 now it's just what the team needs, because right now
yeah,
that's what it is. It's about what the team needs, because they need more than what they got now, especially when the box go away.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
moving to the Stormers, I actually think that's kind of what's happening with Willems are playing at 10. This is just what they need right now
mm,
to get those wins. This is just what they need to get right now. Playing at home, finally,
yeah.
the home team for them is
Yeah,
is is it's a big thing for them. So Willems are playing at 10, a bit of a shuffle in the forwards, and I think what they got right when you talk about getting the mix right, I think they got the mix right here. Van Heerden was on the bench, and when he came on, he made a big impact. I feel
mm,
like they got the selections, the timings, everything here they got correctly. Granted, Munster have problems of their own right now, but
yeah,
they managed to get that win and they managed to do well enough. Like I've said that it's a sinking ship at times, but I feel like the ship is steadying. It's steadying, but again, like you say, Box have to go, Filmser has to go.
yeah. And yeah, look, Munster, yes, they've got their own issues, and for me, the when you look at that game, they couldn't capitalize on the initial sort of pressure that they were putting on Munster. Then, on the reverse, Munster were attacking them and yeah, intercept, cool, got themselves into it, but the whole time there was just that feeling of, it's not convincing, up until that home ground advantage started to come into effect, and the sort of the bigger name players, Willemse was very active. I think he was determined to make sure that, they get this one over the line. And like you said, the mix that they got, better intensity when they started playing, and being a bit more accurate, it looked better. But steadying, yes, quarters, but they're also just, hey, it's sketchy that side, but
Yeah.
hopefully, they can get their levels right, get their performance right, and settle on, okay, who are their guys that they know, okay, these are our best guys, even in the box go away, who's coming in and stepping up. And that's where, like I said earlier, with most of the franchises outside of the Lions, where it's the next guys, and
Yeah,
yeah, the home ground, it helped.
if we're talking the next guys, Kitsov, obviously there's been bad news with him that, he's got a career-threatening injury. That's obviously gonna hurt them in terms of prop stocks
Yeah,
and that things of the like. Steve Sitole and Fushia, I felt like in general they're good scrummages, but this game set piece was a lottery here. It
yeah,
was, and that's line out and scrum was an absolute lottery. I haven't
mm,
seen so much swings of they get a penalty, you get a penalty.
yeah.
So for me, even the drop for the next guys, I don't feel like Sazi Standi and the old man. I
Brock,
don't
Brock
Brock
Harris.
Harris. I feel like the drop off is too big. Even when Willemse
Mm,
leaves, Matthias is gonna probably come in. I don't believe
Mati-
the way Willemse was playing. He was playing like right on the attacking line, and it
yeah,
was dangerous how they were playing. You saw how when they got their hands going,
yeah,
Hasenberg making those runs. It's like I don't. Hey, when Matthias comes in, I don't think that they're not going to be able to play the same way. I mean,
yeah,
Galant is still going to be there to give them that spark, which he did. He has come into the team and he's brought imagination.
yeah.
But I don't know what's going to happen when those
It's
guys
the
leave.
mix. That's the thing. It's the
Yeah,
mix because Willems is able to set them on, get them going. His passing range. That's what one thing I love about, seeing him, either 10 or 12, his ability to be there at the line and also just, that fizz that pass, get
yeah,
guys into space and just get the back line away. Yeah, selection is going to be key there. Who's going to be playing 12, to maybe, to help Mattia going forward when Willemse is out. But I think the greater issues still remain, in terms of the next guys, particularly for me, I'll always go back, particularly in the pack, like for example, Ben Jason Dixon, I've been sort of giving him a lot of benefit of the doubt, and look, rightly so, because he had the performances back him, but he's just
yeah.
been, you know, good. But it's not the guy where you say, "Oh no, this is a buck."
Yeah, he hasn't been playing on
You know,
the level
yeah,
that
you just say, "No,
it
this is a
was before.
buck." You lose him in
Yeah.
there, he just he fits in there. You know what I mean. Whereas when you look at like Willemse, you can see, no, this is why
Yes,
this
yeah.
is a buck.
Yeah.
As an example. So, and yeah, so the next guys, that's the issue. That's the issue. And now that's where you ask yourself: is it pure talent, or is it coaching, or what's going on when that rotation comes in? What's the difference?
I feel like the coaching is good enough. I feel like it's just not the players. I just don't feel like they have
Mm,
the players there. But
mm.
their depth will be
But it's those
tested.
good enough coaches that are picking them, though.
We don't know what
you
kind of
know,
budget that guy working on. There was those the Stormers, the in administration and what. We
yeah.
don't know if
Well,
they can get players.
they don't have that Rock
I
Nation money.
Yeah, they don't have that Rock Nation money, so they can't. Well, I'm guessing. I don't know the behind the scenes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know they said in Mkhunu they've been monitoring him. Hope they're trying to see maybe for kids off.
Jeez.
But again, for me, I don't think that's really going to
Uh-uh.
solve your problems. I think
It
the
won't.
problems is other forwards positions. Yes, props, but Tiernason, yes, the quick tap. He was watching Fassi highlights. He
Yeah,
saw that
earlier.
quick tap. He also went for it. But I don't know if these are the guys that are gonna get you to another URC final. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
Alas, it's early days still, but the time is running out.
Yeah. Any closing remarks from you, Chris? I think it's Leinster versus Lions, Benetton, Bulls, Stormers, Warriors. Stormers are gonna get a test. I think with the Warriors,
Yeah,
especially the way they play is
yeah,
kind of similar to them. Sharks versus Munster. I'm going Sharks again. Yeah, I think this is
yeah,
some very good fixtures. Very good fixtures. Bulls, I think, will bounce back.
yeah,
Stormers, I think at home they'll get over Munster. Yes, it's just the Lions. We need to be the team that closes out the sweep.
yeah. Although quarters eight be the Stormers one, it's not make sure for me. Uh, you know, it's not make sure for me because they're playing themselves in a way,
Yeah,
and these guys will be wanting to bounce back and they'll be confident in the way they finished against the Sharks, you know. Um, but yeah, Sharks, okay, they should do the job, considering the way Munster not the same Munster, you know, but it's still Munster. Leinster Lions, that's the big one for me. I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna say no. Go Lions by 3.
any closing remarks from you?
Uh Look, the next guys. That's all I'm gonna say. The next guys. They know who they are. They know. They all know who they are. We're watching, they gotta do better, they gotta.
Yeah, I think that's it from us, guys. And yeah, see ya. Go sort it out, man. Go sort it out. That's my final.
Was it the
Thanks for watching, guys.